Hello everyone, welcome to Excellence IAS Academy. Today in this video we will discuss about rupee depreciation. What is the context? Rupee has breached 86 rupees against dollar. So in this context we will discuss rupee depreciation and also reasons for it, and we will go for the impact of the rupee depreciation. So let us begin. Rupee depreciation is nothing but rupee losing its value against dollar. Means rupee recently saw sustained decline against dollar and become 86 rupee against $1. This depreciation resulted from many factors. What are those factors? The factors includes, the first major factor is crude oil prices rise in the crude oil prices. But how rise in the crude oil prices will strengthen the dollar and weakens the rupee here. Here you can see is that whenever the crude oil prices rise, there is a demand for dollar in the international economy because the international trade happens majorly through dollar. Because of this, whenever the demand for the dollar in the international goes up, this creates a situation where dollar will be strengthened against other currencies, especially rupee in this case. Because of this, rupee saw the depreciation, means devaluation in this context. And second major reason is the dollar strengthening. We already saw that dollar strengthened due to rise in the crude oil prices in the international market. And the second reason is the dollar strengthening in the international market is because of cautious stance by the US Federal Reserve. Because of the cautious stance of the US Federal Reserve, dollar strengthened in the international market. Because of this, rupee saw the devaluation in this context. And third major reason is the outflow of the dollar from the Indian market. You can see is that foreign portfolio investors or foreign institutional investors, what we can call, these investors are withdrawing their investments, equity investments in the Indian market. Because of this, the outflow of dollar is happening. Because of this outflow, there is a demand for the dollar in the Indian economy. Because of this, the rupee is losing its value against the dollar. Because of these four major reasons, rupee depreciated recently against the dollar. But how it affects the Indian market? Impact of the depreciation of rupee and international Indian market especially. The first major impact will be, we'll discuss about the positive impact, how it's affect Indian market positively. The first, it affects exports especially, means there will be a growth in the Indian export. Why? We can say that whenever the rupee depreciates in international market, the Indian goods especially becomes cheaper in the international market. So whenever Indian goods becomes cheaper in the international market, the export of the Indian goods to international market increases. We can also see in terms of real exchange rate. Real exchange rate. The real exchange rate evaluates the competitiveness of the Indian exports. Whenever the real exchange rates comes down, the competitiveness of the Indian goods in the international market will be increased. It is the inverse relationship, right? So real exchange rate in this context, whenever the rupee depreciates, will become down. Because of the real exchange rate declines, the competitiveness of the Indian goods in the international market becomes increased. But how this also impact negatively? How the depreciation of the rupee impacts negatively? One, India is a majorly import country, means India doesn't export more than imports. Because of this, import becomes costly in terms of Indian currency. Whenever the import becomes costly, India will experience current account deficit. Why? We already saw that the crude oil prices in the international market has increased, right? Because of this, whenever we want to import the crude oil prices from the international market, we have to pay more rupees in the international market. Because of this, and also import becomes costly from other products, right? We have to import other products, right? Because of this situation, we experience current account deficit in this particular case. And also, the depreciation of rupee will also see in terms of inflation. Means it will create inflation in the Indian market. How? Because already Indian market seeing that rupee is depreciated, right? In this context, we have to pay more rupees to buy more product of more goods in the Indian market. One, and also we have to import the products from the international market by paying more rupees, right? In this context, whenever we import the products from the international market, those products in India becomes costly. Whenever these products are used in the production, the producted means the consuming goods will also become costly. Because of this situation, we'll see inflation in the Indian market. And third, this also impact the debt service of India. Means the debt service will become very costly with respect to India, because India borrowed money from the international market. India borrowed from other currencies, like India borrowed in terms of rupees, and but India borrowed in terms of dollar also. We have to repay the debt. So here, whenever we have to repay the debt in this situation, particularly when rupee has depreciated, so the repayment will become costly. Right? These are the major impact of the rupee depreciation in the Indian market. But how the RBI or the government can solve this problem? The RBI can go for selling dollar in the international market, selling dollar in the Indian market from its forex reserve, or it can go for the swapping of currency, right? Swapping of currency. But government of India can go for import restrictions on unessential products, and also ease the foreign portfolio investors rules. From these measures, we can also enhance the inflow of dollar in the Indian market. So we can prevent the depreciation of rupee in the Indian market. So thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for more videos.